Previously on Via Non Capta.
All right. So last time we started General Order 1, new episode, and you guys met up with the USS Varen, Captain Dupac, primarily a Vulcan ship. They met up with the Drake. Captain Knightley decided to um, have dinner with the captain and the commander with Lieutenant Sova. So they had a nice little semi awkward dinner there, which was kind of funny. And then they brought over Lazesh's shuttle from Starbase 2 and parked that in the cargo hold of the Drake. And Jahan and Clark went over to the Varen and checked out the engine room and interacted with the chief engineer over there and had some fun, interesting things, little conversation there. And then after the Varen departed and everything was going good, the Drake got a priority one message from Admiral Foxwell stating that a world called Kaferin had a diplomatic breakdown happening. So on Kaferin, a jungle world, there were members of the Federation, Vulcans, Andorians, and Tellarites trying to set up a colony called Veldoria. And the Vulcans are interested in using the planet as a scanning station for deep space. The Andorians were hoping to set up a medical like relief center for Starbase 2, and the Tellarites were planning on setting up a trading port. But the thing that happened is, as they were determining site plans, a Tellarite expedition team discovered a previously undiscovered city with pre-warp technology present. So with that, they also received reports that the civilization that they came across uses these discs that enable telepathic communication. So where the diplomatic breakdown has occurred is that the Andorians want to acquire the tech while the Vulcans are protesting. And so Admiral Foxwell is requesting the Drake to go to this planet to investigate what's happening, get boots on the ground, understand, and uphold General Order 1, which is essentially the older terminology for the Prime Directive. So that's kind of where we were as we concluded. You guys had gone to Kaferin and had scanned the planet and didn't detect the civilization. And Sova had scanned on long range sensors. He had found like a slightly adequate planet where this colony team could move to, but it is not as hospitable as this planet. It is capable of holding life, and it is not toxic, but not very. It's very barren. It's very kind of plain. It's not as lush as this planet. So the captain assembled a away team to go down, and the away team comprised of herself, the commander, the commander's second in command, the captain's second in command, and a science officer, a Tellarite science officer from the science lab, and I believe Lieutenant Sova too. So that's who was the away team. They were going down. We didn't go down yet. That was just where things were left off. But what we're going to do, I mentioned this last week when you weren't on, Eric, that we were going to like do like a retroactive scene. So this scene that we're going to play out here in a moment is going to have taken place while the Varen was docked, the Vulcan ship was docked with the Drake, and the dinner was happening. And like Jahan and Clark were over on the Varen looking at the engine room. So we're going to play out a scene that happened during then. And then once that scene concludes, tie up some loose ends, and then it'll be like a fast forward to where we are now. So this is where we'll pick up. We'll do a rewind to the scene where Lazesh is going into the cargo bay to see what the shuttle that the Vulcan ship brought over. So as you enter the cargo bay, you immediately, it kind of strikes you again. So we're going with the understanding that all of your memories are back, but the like moment of attack, the moment that you were hit with that temporal weapon, it's like fuzzy, and you have like ideas of like what should be happening.
Right.
But it's really more of like once you see it or once you touch it or once something triggers it, you're like, oh yeah, that's right, and now you're getting the like memory back, even finer.
Yeah, but I look at the ship and I probably don't recognize it, obviously.
So you see the ship. It is totally the ship that you were found on, and it is the ship that they picked you up in and brought you to Starbase 2, and that was it. And right from looking at it, no need to roll because it's as common can be for you. It is a Gorn shuttle from this century.
Oh, okay.
So that you're recalled to mind that yes, you obviously knew ins and outs of your culture and your species, how to get one of these pretty easily, and you were using it to go around space kind of, without getting caught, basically. Like you weren't using technology to get stand out. But there's more to the story. So what do you want to do here?
So I go into the shuttle.
Okay. So as you enter the shuttle, as soon as you enter it, within seconds of you entering it, there's this little blinking light starts like on the console. Now, when you opened the thing and you started to come in, it wasn't blinking. You could see from the open doorway, the hatch, it was the whole shuttle was turned off. But as soon as you went inside of it, this thing on the thing starts to blink, not rapidly, just very steadily blinking.
Does it really captivate my attention?
To a small degree. I mean, it is the only thing lit up in the shuttle, and you do take note of the fact that it only started since you entered the shuttle.
So I'm going to go investigate that real quick.
Okay. So once you poke the button, and it brings up a recorded message, and here you see your fellow time traveler. Now the pieces are coming together that you had a partner with you. Here is your partner, Urban Viams. He is your partner, and you notice him, and the things start to click together. The message states that Urban here is currently stuck in New Jersey without the time pod. So he's in New Jersey without the time pod. He explains that a dismal inventor named Rasmussen has someone that Urban thought had relevant information about the April family, knocked him out, and stole the time pod. He explains that Rasmussen took his device to recall the time pod. He knows that you have the other device to recall the time pod. Urban says he has to stay mobile because of Starfleet investigating temporal signatures due to his tricorder. He will try and contact him in a day or two. And the message ends. Now, when you look at the message received 88 days ago. And the time pod device is not present in the shuttle. You know that it's just a matter of connecting the dots to where.
Is that what I'm looking for?
So now the two things that you're assuming that there is a device to recall the time pod to your location that will then go forth, and you assume on the time pod the device to help the April family is on there. That's what you're putting together. Because all of your equipment is on the time pod. So you are able to recall that you were sent to this quadrant of space to find in the cool operating base, and that Urban was sent to Earth to protect the April family. But the device to protect Timothy April is in the time pod, and the device to recall the time pod is missing. Where is it? It may be likely that the temporal agent took it, but you can't risk sending communication transmissions in the Gorn shuttle. It would attract Gorn soldiers to this area of space decades before the Federation is prepared. So your next choice, right? The next choice is either try and find the cool base of operation, or try to send a message to Urban and hope the terminal it is sent to, he sees it and he is able to reply. It would take 24 hours for a message to be sent and received at his location, to his like Earth location.
So I'm going to go get out of the Gorn shuttle for now.
Okay.
And I'm going to go. I'm going to ask the captain if I can send a coded message to Earth.
Okay.
And that I have my reasons. I just don't want her involved because I just don't want her hurt in any way.
Okay. Yeah. So you could either send it to HQ, or you could try to send it to to Urban's last known location, where he sent it you from.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
Okay.
Do I have to roll?
Well, first you just got to make sure the captain's okay with it, and then if she is, then we'll have it.
Okay. Are you okay with that, Captain?
Yes, I am. Yeah.
And I try my best to explain why, so she understands.
Okay. So basically, Captain, what you kind of get is like he needs to contact somebody back on Earth, because while this is the shuttle that they found him in, he has other technology that he needs access to, and he last knew of it being on Earth.
Yeah, understood. I'm fine with that. Yeah.
Yeah, just so you can play with your character knowing like this limited amount of information.
Okay.
Let's have Eric, you'll roll control and engineering.
That's 13. So
let's see, Andrew, do you want to roll communications engineering for the ship? Just one. We'll make it difficulty 1 just because you're doing a coded message and it's going to Earth. So normally it's difficulty 0 because it's a message, but we'll make it a 1 just because it's a little more difficult.
I got a 5 and a 9.
Okay, cool.
I got a 10, so just missed it.
Okay, so 1 success, so you get a momentum. If you're not maxed out, I don't remember what we started with.
We're on 6, so we're maxed out.
Okay. So you send that out. Now you're not going to know for 24 hours when you send it to Urban's last known location, like where he sent this message from. But the good thing is we've already played out all of that. Like we've played out the day. So now we can fast forward to the morning of. So now you're going to wait to see if you get Urban's thing while the captain is getting the priority 1 message from the admiral. So now that's where we're lining these two things up.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. You sadly do not hear back from Urban. So your guess is he's either not at this location, which is why you haven't heard from him in almost 3 months, or he's just not able to reply to you for some reason.
Did I send another to HQ?
You can. The only caveat is it would look a little weird coming from you. So you probably would have to get the captain to do it.
Yeah.
Because you can realize that with her name on the message, it's going to get a little farther up the line than having your name on it.
Right.
Okay.
Would you be able to do that?
Yeah.
Because I don't think they would listen to me.
Well, they might, but they'll listen to me more sooner.
So
yeah,
you're gonna.
Okay.
So you can send it to whoever you would like, but basically you're requesting if they have any information on a Dr. Vimes. That's all you're looking for.
I'm going to send it to my friend that we met in the first episode.
Oh, Barnaby?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're gonna let that's gonna have to cook for a little bit. So you're gonna send another message to HQ. It's gonna take another full day, but now we're in the morning of her getting the message. So once we achieve a day to night cycle, you'll probably get a respond.
I'm gonna look at you and say, you know what? I don't like the message coming from the Admiral. I should have eaten her while I had a chance. Because I still think she's not a good guy.
Wow. Well, that's why I didn't send my message to her. Send it to my friend I know I can trust.
Right? I knew I liked you.
Now we're a little couple more hours in from that retro scene happening. Now, Captain, you're assembling your away team, and that is where we are.
Okay, so I'll just like gather everybody together and like wherever he would be down in.
Last episode, I suggested the shuttle just because our sensors were unable to pick up the life signs of the people, and therefore beaming down could have extra difficulties.
That's right. I agree with that. Let's shuttle down. Yeah, so I'll just gather everybody like out, or maybe just in the shuttle. I'll just like kind of reiterate like our mission, and I'll just say, you know, I know I don't have to tell any of you this, but just to be clear, like our mission here is peaceful. Let's solve this peacefully. And if we absolutely can't, then we're gonna have to take some decisive action somehow. But let's hope between the Vulcans on our side and reasonableness of the others, we can get this solved quickly.
I can assure you, Captain, the Vulcans will act professionally and will not allow their emotions to get in the way.
I am counting on that. I am counting on it. Again, also let me reiterate too what I wanted in having our Tellarite companion and our hat for more than obvious reasons and Sovacom is I want you guys to see how you can get to know them. Let's get to know these people, see what makes them tick. Let's try to, in a nice way, manipulate them into doing what we want them to do. Let's not just go in assuming that we know how they feel and will act about the situation. Let's try to feel it out first. Let's try to be their friends before we just come in and tell them what they're going to do. So let's see how that goes.
I just wanted to tell you all good luck. We're all counting on you.
Thank you so much. It says Captain Starlog, January 17th, 2174. We have been asked to intercede in a dispute occurring on the lush jungle world of Kaferin between the Andorians, Tellarites, and Vulcans. The Federation is young, and it seems like any problem gets magnified 100-fold. The landing party is beaming down to the Tellarites base camp to be debriefed on this situation.
I guess the only thing I forgot to edit that was that you guys are taking the shuttle down, but basically the same.
Yeah.
All right, Silva, do you want to burn a momentum to get a very statistical information on Kaferin as you guys burn through the atmosphere?
Sounds good to me.
Okay. So Kaferin has a 385-day cycle. Its diameter is 7,767 miles, which is a little bigger than Earth, and its gravity is 0.9 G, which is a little lighter than Earth. Not by much.
Superman.
Yeah. Its climate is tropical with diverse biomes ranging from dense jungles to expansive waterways. The jungle environment receives regular, sometimes heavy rainfall. This sustains the dense vegetation, contributing to the vibrant and thriving ecosystem along the jungle floor. Periodic tropical storms and thunderstorms are common. providing essential water for the jungle ecosystem. Temperatures on Kaferin typically fall within a moderate range suitable for humanoid life, between 75 to 85 degrees Fahrenheit. The atmosphere is nitrogen-oxygen mix with trace elements suitable for humanoid life. Daytime is approximately 18 standard Earth hours, and Kaferin receives ample sunlight during the day, illuminating the jungle with vibrant hues, and the star's rays that penetrate the dense canopy create a dappled effect on the forest floor. Nighttime is approximately 12 standard Earth hours. As sunlight fades, the jungle becomes alive with bioluminescent displays. Various flora and fauna emit soft glows, turning the treetops into a mesmerizing tapestry of light.
Ooh.
It's nice.
I would like to activate my ability Studious,
Yes,
which allows me to ask a question, extra question.
absolutely.
What about animal life?
So there are.
Well, I was thinking especially any dangerous animals.
You can tell there is animal life here, but you also can't see from the shuttle or from the Drake. You're not getting any of the life signs that the Tellarite expedition party discovered. You don't find these people. So you can kind of theorize that while there is some life signs showing up, and I'm going to give you one, you can also kind of put together that not everything is here. You find a petite glowing insect resembling earth fireflies, but with vibrant bioluminescent patterns. They flutter through the air, casting a gentle glow that illuminates the jungle at night. And despite their diminutive size, their synchronized flashes create mesmerizing displays in the jungle. So you can kind of pick up these little kind of insects, kind of bugs in the jungle. But like I said, you pretty much theorize that there's more than meets the eye here. It's like 10, 11 o'clock in the morning. Okay, so you guys shuttle down outside of the building. It's a well put together Federation outpost that's sealed. It's not exposed, like where the people are standing is not exposed to the outside. And they are inside a sealed off facility. And you can see a smattering of people standing outside, but also inside the building. To keep in mind, these are not Starfleet officers like you.
Right.
They are just teams that the Federation is supporting.
What I would like to happen is I would like Golu.
Okay.
And London to go find some Tellarites to observe, maybe speak with.
Okay. So you want Golu and Sonda to kind of just mingle, walk about?
Yeah, and kind of observe,
okay.
mingle, chat. And I want Sova and I will go to the Vulcans, and then our hat. And who else do I have left? My second in command.
Yeah, you have Tilly.
They'll go to the Andorians.
Okay.
How's that sound?
Okay, so Sova, our hat, and you and your second in command are going to go to where the delegates are, the teams you're saying, go find them, the people.
Yeah.
And the other two are going to kind of walk around and
we're all just kind of feeling out the vibes. What's the vibe of each kind of group of folks, and how are they interacting with each other and that kind of stuff.
Okay. So you watch as Sandin and Golu kind of just slowly walk off, and you can kind of get the impression that they're they're a little hesitant, just because Golu isn't really a traditional Tellarite, and Sandin is trying not to be super on edge because he knows that like these people aren't doing anything wrong necessarily. So he's trying to like blend in and not be super obvious that he's.
That's why I said we're just going in chill, man. We're not gonna go in and be like, all right, everybody, listen to us. We're Starfleet. We're gonna tell you what to do. We're just chill.
But our hat runs a tight security crew, so it's a little hard for him to not to kind of let his shoulders kind of drop a little bit. He's trying to, but it's difficult for him.
Yeah.
But you watch him as he walks off.
He'll be fine.
So you enter the sets of doors, and as you come in, you can see a group of people, but primarily the three individuals from the file that you received from Admiral Foxwell of the delegates who are there. Professor Sa, who is the female Vulcan, who is like the head of that delegation. Then you also see Dr. Chalor, that's a female Andorian, and you also see Merchant Runvok Choke. He is a male Tellarite.
Nice.
So you can see that they're squabbling, and as you get closer, you hear Professor Sa say, "Esteemed colleagues, the pursuit of a strategic advantage compromises the essence of General Order 1. Interference in the natural development of this civilization is unacceptable. This directive must guide our decisions." And the doctor says, "Respect, Professor, but we can't cling to outdated principles. Establishing this planet as a starport for criminal trials is the way of the future. Our military might, combined with this technology, could ensure a just legal system. Why limit ourselves when there's a way for everyone to get what they want?" And the merchant says, "Profit aside, your logic and military dreams are hogwash. We're talking trade, not a battlefield. Imagine the deals we could strike with these telepathic beings. Don't let your Vulcan logic blind you. There's a way for everyone to get what they want, and your principles won't stand in the way of our progress." And the professor says, "Logic is not blind. It illuminates the path of reason, a path you seem eager to ignore. Trade agreements should not come at the cost of violating a directive that has guided us. There's a reason for its existence." And the doctor says, "Your Vulcan logic shackles us to a stagnant past. This is an opportunity to evolve, to embrace progress. Establishing a starport here aligns with the changing tides of the galaxy. Why limit ourselves when there's a way for everyone to get what they want? Stagnant past," the merchant says. "Your progress is nothing but reckless chaos. We've got discs, and we're not letting this chance slip away. You can stick to your dusty principles. We're moving forward. Your insistence on holding back progress won't stand. We'll find a way for everyone to benefit, even if your General Order 1 gets in the way." He says, "Enough of this high and mighty talk. Your Vulcan logic and Andorian dreams won't change the fact that we've got an opportunity here. These discs are a ticket to prosperity. We're not letting bureaucratic principles stand in the way. We'll secure a future where everyone reaps the rewards, whether you like it or not." So that is the conversation that you walk into as you go forward.
Well, I guess let's introduce ourselves.
Okay. So you turn to who do you talk to first? Who are you gonna like? Are you just gonna talk out loud, or are you just like directly talking to somebody?
I'll probably introduce myself to Professor Sa first,
Okay.
because that seems the safest route at the moment.
Okay.
So I'll
So
take
do you-
Solo with me. And I guess Arhat, if you want to like go talk to Dr. Chalor. That makes sense for you, character.
So do you want Tilly and Arhat to go to the doctor, and you and Silva go to the professor?
Yeah.
Okay. Professor Sa sees you, and she says, "Oh, Captain,
Do they know we were coming?
No. Well, you don't know that you don't know that.
Okay, so I'll say, sorry, were you expecting me?
It was only logical that once we have reached this point in these negotiations, that Starfleet would send somebody, and I was familiar that the Drake would be in the area, and so I know who to look for.
Very logical. I'm Captain Knightley of the USS Drake. This is Mr. Sova, our science officer.
It is an honor to meet you, Captain. I am familiar with your previous missions here of late that you have sent prior to being out here. Lieutenant?
Professor?
I'm honored to know that you've heard of me. That's interesting to hear. Well, as you know, we're here to help in a peaceful way and any way that we can. I honestly don't know how to proceed from here. So I have my team and my crew out just kind of observing, trying to get the lay of the land and understand how the people are thinking on the matter and trying to gain more knowledge before we act. What can you tell me?
Well, as you've probably been informed that the Tellarite expedition party discovered a civilization here of natives on the planet, and when they were down here, they snuck into one of the cities and acquired some technology to study. And this technology that they stole were discs that the natives placed on their foreheads that enabled some sort of telepathic communication with other people who wore these discs. The discs only work on Andorians and Tellarites, but that does not seem to work on Vulcans. The Andorians want to study the technology on their own terms, but we know that this is a violation of General Order 1. What the Tellarites are going to do with it, one can only assume that they're going to try to monetize such a thing.
So I don't think did I know that before?
You didn't really know about the discs. You kind of did, but not really.
Yeah.
But you didn't know to the fullest extent, no.
Okay. So talking to Professor Saw again, I would just say, like, I'm upset to hear that the Tellarites went into their colony unwelcomed, and then on top of it, stole property that didn't belong to them. I think our first priority should probably be finding out why our scans didn't show the colony in the first place.
Yeah.
I think that's my burning question.
Well, I do agree with you, Captain, that the Tellarites have gone too far. That Choke's team has been taking advantage of the situation farther than anyone would have liked. But I do think the prudent thing is also to investigate the civilization, to understand what's really happening. Do they know about us? What damage did the expedition team do? We need to send a team in to basically cover our footsteps.
Yeah.
Do we have a description of them?
There is a slight description of them, but it is not. As you would know, Lieutenant, I may not necessarily believe how a Tellarite describes something.
A most logical stand.
I do understand your point of view and going in there. It does make me hesitate, makes me uneasy to do so, to cause any further harm.
Let me just ask this question. Is that the reason why we can't pick them up on sensors?
The discs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point. Good question. Yeah, I think we do have to get closer in to know anything more, to have any more knowledge. So what's the best way of doing that? Like, should we go at night? I'm
It
not
would
trying to be like sly and
it would be best to be, as they put it, clandestine.
stealthy.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that I think is something we should discuss at greater length soon. Do you, Professor Saw, think it would be advantageous to introduce me to your colleagues?
I have no problem introducing you to the doctor. I have no interest in introducing you to the merchant, though.
To be honest, I don't wish to meet them anyway. So I get it, but I think logically I should.
Your logic is sound.
Thank you. I'll figure out how to handle him later.
Understood.
For now, introduce me to the doctor, please.
Captain, this is Dr. Chalor. Oh, Doctor. Oh, Captain, yes, I heard from Professor Sa that you may be here. I know that you're here to uphold your General Order 1, but I really want to put to you that the idea of we could conduct court cases here and really use this as a grounds of like a judicial system that would be actually just. Imagine us being able to put on these discs and be able to read the minds of criminals and know whether or not they were guilty and what happened, and not have to go through days and days of all of this paperwork and red tape just to get right to it. You would know who is guilty, truly guilty.
I can understand where you're coming from. It does certainly have its good aspects, but have several negative things come to mind too. Have you really weighed that out?
Well, I mean, we haven't really put it to great use. I've worn it and talked to other Andorians with my mind, and it's an amazing feat. But to your point, no, we have not really, held legal cases here yet. There's been no reason to.
Sure. I mean, the
If
thing that
if
comes
I may, Captain,
please, yeah.
I question the logic of such a device. It could clearly be used to force thoughts upon people. Have you considered the fact that these discs could be used in a way that would be unlawful or even against certain war crimes or tribunals?
Your officer makes a good point, but without just saying that he's right and immediately discarding these discs, I mean, really, we would just need to study them more. Like, really, what is the fullest extent of these things? Can that even happen, what he's suggesting? I don't know.
I am inclined to believe that this property was stolen, and quite frankly, none of you should even know that they exist. So I don't believe it's your choice to determine what you should do with them. That is my opinion. But I am hoping that we can find common ground between the three parties and make a good decision that's beneficial for all. So let me ask you a question. Would you be even slightly open to the idea of relocating your facilities to another planet?
We have not located anything that is even close to this planet. I have no interest in doing that. You know the situation of Starbase 2. They're overrun with individuals. They need as much medical care as they can have. I have no interest in setting up another base of operations like this on another planet somewhere farther away where it'll take months to get us back to this point.
Okay. Yeah.
If I may, but
Please.
I would question the logic of this because with the new colony, you would have greater interference with your work. The fact that Starfleet is now intervening in these affairs would make it more difficult. Whereas if you started over, yes, you would have to start back at the beginning, but you would go uninterfered in all of your work.
I see,
Another good
Captain,
point.
why you brought this officer. I've been hearing it for a few days from this one over here. Brother.
Can't refute that Vulcan logic, can you?
I certainly try.
Doctor, I'm just wondering, were you in the Imperial Guard?
No, but members of my family were, yes.
Then you understand how important it is to have order, to have rules, to have someone to make the decisions.
I do.
We are all here because of the Federation.
Correct.
Therefore, it's not up to us. The ultimate decision does come down to the Federation. And because they have a rule against intervening with the local population, I'm not talking about the technology. Because even if we returned the discs that were taken, we still know about the technology. They have been scanned, and that is an issue that we do have to deal with. But ultimately, the decisions have to come from the higher-ups, just like they did with the Imperial Guard.
Yeah, it's very true, very true. I know that as an Andorian, I don't have to speak at great lengths to you about it, but you can see the benefit of this, right? I mean, to know what a person is thinking.
I agree. The question is the information that you are getting accurate, or such as the Vulcans, and there are others who have possibility of blocking it because you have not been able to read a Vulcan's mind. We don't know if there are species that can falsify information through it. It would take a lot of testing, and there are many lines that we would have to try not to cross in the process.
I am grateful for the idea that this would not be completely terminated and just completely shelved and ignored, as the Federation is proposing that we don't do anything here. So I am open to the idea more so that we can do maybe something in the future with this.
Doctor, have you considered using help from other species, such as the Vulcans, who can mind meld? To me, I mean, you have a culture here that you're already working with that can do what you're asking. And what's more, again, I know this is probably not your popular opinion, but it's mine. I think that there's something fundamentally wrong with gaining someone's thoughts without their permission, criminal or not. I think that's a kind of violation that shouldn't be done to another being.
I know that the Vulcans here standing here don't want to hear this because it is not a logical thing, but I think the other species here standing here can agree that what has been happening in this quadrant of space has been difficult. We know there are many who are turning against the Federation. We knew of the Bolian uprising and all of that had just happened months ago. We know that there's something happening with the Tellarites, and there are other things afoot. I've seen it. I don't know exactly what it is, but I do know that it is happening.
Sure.
And so my fear is well founded, and that's why I'm interested in using these things in a judicial way. I'm not saying I have all of the answers and that the way that I want to go about it is correct, but
I see that you have people's safety at heart. I think that you have the best interest in mind. But I would gently remind you that throughout Earth's history, there have been horrible people doing horrible things, but we have achieved peace without the use of forced mind reading, without such horrific violation of privacy. We believe that everyone is innocent until proven guilty. So I would remind you that there are ways of going about things much better in a less invasive way, in a not to mention the fact that, again, you shouldn't even know about this equipment. It was stolen. I mean, I'm not angry with you, but the situation makes me angry. How would you feel if the situation were reversed and they're the ones that broke into your camp and stole your equipment?
That is something that I have overlooked.
I would like for you to consider all that we've discussed, and I will do the same. I see that you have safety in mind, that you're concerned about bringing criminals to their rightful judgment, and I can say that I agree with that 100%. And I do believe that there is a way that we can fix this situation.
So just as you say that, your little comm thing goes off, and the captain opens her communicator and hears,
Yes?
I just wanted to tell you all good luck. We're all counting on you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
okay, so you've concluded that message with the doctor.
No pressure. No pressure at all. Yeah, I feel like everyone made really excellent points.
Okay.
Now I'm curious to turn our attention to the Tellarite.
Okay.
So what has he just been observing us?
For the most part, he's just been kind of standing there.
Okay. So I think I'll just turn to him and say, since you've been standing over here eavesdropping, like, you got anything to say? Got anything to add? Something like that.
Well, I mean, clearly, you Federation here, you come down, you don't want anything to do with profit or doing anything that makes sense. All you want to do is take these things away, put them back in their cities, and have nothing to do with it. And I don't. I mean, come on.
I have never before questioned the intelligence of a representative of the Federation. Until now.
Yeah.
You have to remember, you are here because of the Federation.
Yeah, and I'm going to help the Federation by selling these things.
So you're cool with your people being thieves, is what I'm hearing.
Thieves. That's a big term word. That's not what's happening here.
Oh, too big of a word for you? Okay. You stole something that wasn't yours. You have to put it back.
Those bugs don't know it's missing.
Regardless if they know it's missing or not, ultimately, it is the Federation's decision.
So by your logic,
these antenna people just keep showing up and they're telling me to put these things away, and I don't want them.
So by your logic, you don't mind if I go into your camp and steal some of your stuff, then, do you?
I never said that you can do that. You can't steal my stuff.
I mean, that's what you've done. You don't seem to have a problem.
But you know that my camp is here. You know that my people are here. You're gonna walk in. You're gonna take something. We didn't know that they were there. It was a happy accident. Happy accident.
Pull
You didn't
your
know they-
phaser and say, "Let me have it back."
You didn't know they were there until you knew they were there, and then you made the decision to go into their camp and take what didn't belong to you. Or are you that stupid that you can't understand that?
Well, all I can say is I'm not going to pass on a business opportunity. You know that this area of space needs as much help as possible. I mean, come on.
Yeah, we'll see. Our conversation has been enlightening, Mr. Choke.
Yeah, I don't want to talk to you anymore either. I know you don't want to talk to me.
Yeah, you've got me pegged. Have a nice one.
And so him and his other little band of Tellarites start grumbling, and they kind of walk off to their area.
Ultimately, with him, Captain, we are going to have to just make a decision and kind of force the issue.
I agree. I don't see any reasonableness happening there. We might be surprised, but I doubt it, to be honest.
And what it comes down to is we need to also send a message to one of the admirals to see how we should proceed with the technology.
Yeah.
Because yes, they did acquire it in less ideal means, but because we now know about the technology, we need to know how the Federation wants to proceed with this technology. Even if we, like I said, even if we return all of the technology that we have, we still know about it.
Yeah, they still have scans and
yes. And that's where the Federation needs to decide how to proceed with this technology.
Yeah. I feel like we should return it and then destroy all of the files and stuff.
But again, we need an admiral to decide that, because otherwise we would be acting upon our own. Because if they want to study the technology, it would be best at a science facility somewhere else.
Yeah. I don't even feel like that should happen, but I guess that's not my choice.
We just need some direction on how we should proceed, because just destroying all the Federation's knowledge of this, it's us taking action on our own, whereas if we have direction to do it from an admiral, no one else can go against it, because they are not under us, technically.
Yeah.
They're working with the Federation. They are not Starfleet officers.
Right. True. All right. Well, can I do that back on my shuttle pod thing?
Yeah, you can go back to the shuttle and make send a message.
Did my father ever get back to me, by the way?
Mm-hmm. He did.
What did he say? I would like to go back on my shuttle and hear that and send a message to the Admiral.
Yeah, so he comes back with the message that he's dealt with a lot of Vulcans that do a lot of trading out that way, and he's only dealt with a handful of Andorians. But the few Tellarites he's interacted with, which are very minuscule, he's just found that they're a really good mix. Some are just as stubborn and pig-headed and kind of unpleasant to deal with, and others are kind of normal, and it's very broad in how they are. Just like humans, not every Tellarite has the same exact upbringing, and their culture and like how they go about their things are not all the same.
Okay.
But he says that he knows that you'll do really good, and that he supports any decision that you have to make when it comes to dealing with them, and that he knows that he raised a fine daughter that has a good head on her shoulders.
Gee, thanks, Dad. Okay. That was nice. All right. So now I'll just record a message to send to Foxwell.
Okay.
She's the one who sent me here.
Yeah, it'll take about an hour. It'll take like an hour or so to get to send it and to get a message back.
So I'll just like catch her up to speed, and then I'll tell her, we've made acquaintance with each representative.
Okay.
We've had some good conversations already. I think that the Andorians are seeing the other side of the coin for the first time. Not that they are ready to 100% go with it, but I think that they're at least open to the fact that they're not 100% in the right anymore. Vulcans are 100% on board. Tellarites are a lost cause. Like, I don't, at least Choke is probably not gonna come around, but he may, but I'm not counting on it. And then I would tell her about the technology, what they all want to do with it, and then I would just say that, like, to me, what I want to see happen is the technology to be put back where it was found,
Yeah.
and all files and evidence basically destroyed. That's what I would like to see, but I obviously am looking to her for what Starfleet would like me to do with it.
Okay. Yeah. That makes sense.
Okay.
The other, I was just thinking, one reason I don't think it should be destroyed is because the technology is there, people know about it. What would
Yeah.
stop someone from coming back and grabbing it? Whereas, at least if it's cataloged, even if nothing is done with it, it should be cataloged so that we know about it.
Well, yeah, maybe we could take like a chip that you put in a computer.
Oh, yeah.
We take that back to the Federation, but these people don't have access to it. And I feel like there's a way to like help the Andorians to learn like better court customs and whatever. Because obviously if Earth has achieved total peace, then they've figured that out, right? I mean, they don't really touch on that too much in the shows, but
Sure. Yeah. But yeah, the Andorians' position is, rather than the justice system is, essentially as good as it could be, but you can now make them more speedy. They don't got to be days of trials of working things out.
yeah, so I guess now we should discuss like our covert sneak attack tonight. Like, get a good plan.
Okay.
I feel like I don't feel like I want to talk to the doctor about that. Like, I feel like that's just a professor and us thing.
Okay, that you're going in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I feel like the doctor is just,
Yeah.
I just feel like the professor is more neutral about it.
Okay.
Are we going in just to do some scans of things?
Yeah,
Or-
and I think to like try to just learn more about them and like what the deal is. Why we didn't find them on the scanners, and like why they're invisible basically. And if they know if stuff is taken, if they're like freaking out, like stuff like that.
Well, that would include interacting with the people, and it's
Or
best to avoid interacting with anybody.
I agree. I don't want to interact. I just want to see if we can observe from the bushes.
So, as a suggestion, rather than going to the people, can we find the animals nearby? Start with them, because if we can't find the animals, there's bugs around. If we can't scan them, then there's something going on with all of the animals and the ecosystem that is evading our scanners.
Yeah, I feel like we can start there. Sure.
I will take a chance to be who I'm meant to be. I won't let fear keep me from trying. It's time for me to make a change, to start living the life I want. I'm gonna reach for the sky, way up high. I'm never giving up. It's up to me to see who I can be, make dreams reality. I'm never giving up. 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 I'm never giving up.
So let's have Sova roll a science insight. Difficulty 1.
And while he's doing his scan, I'm going to be using my skill, constantly watching to make sure that we aren't ambushed by anything.
Okay.
Just putting that out there.
2 successes? Okay.
So I'm going to bank the extra one, so we're back to 6.
Okay. So as you are standing there, Sova, while they're discussing what to do, it comes to your mind that probably a good idea would to be cover the team that goes in, whether it's all of you or just parts of you, to cover yourself in flora to mimic the bioluminescent patterns of the jungle, and to minimize the use of advanced technology.
Captain, I suggest that the best way to stay out of sight is to use the flora in the area to disguise ourselves. And if we limit our technology use, then that would decrease the chance of us being noticed.
Okay. That's awesome. I think we should just, you should probably keep your science scanner on you, and just, that's it. And maybe our hat should keep a weapon, just one. And then we'll leave everything back here and cover ourselves in flora.
Okay, so 2 is going into the jungle.
Definitely Silva, our hat, and myself, and probably Professor Saw.
Okay, so you, our hat, Sova, Sa.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's have you guys the ones you just mentioned, roll a presence con roll. It's gonna be difficulty 1.
Okay.
I got 2. I rolled an 8 and an 11.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I'm gonna use a momentum to buy a dice because those are my worst categories.
Okay.
I got 1 success.
I have a very strong presence. I have a horrible con.
Me too.
Succeeded.
I got 1 success with the dice I had bought. So
Nice. Good job.
Okay. So as you go and you put all the flora on, you very sneakily and very quietly, with the 4 of you, enter the jungle. You reach the edge of the jungle from where the hub is, attracting the attention of no one else. Now let's have. Okay, so from the documents, the reports that you got, that this is the direction that you're facing is the direction that the team came from, and it's fairly a straight shot. It's a little slightly tilted, but not much, to the civilization. And you begin your journey. What do you guys want to do? It's going to take about like 18 hours to get there.
Really?
Yep.
So these Tellarites went really out of their way.
Yes.
It's almost like they knew. Like, why? Why would you just walk 18
I would
hours?
I would like to scan for wildlife because I have
Okay.
a focus. I have a focus in zoology.
Okay,
Nice.
Andrew. Science, reason, difficulty 3.
Hmm.
So I'm going to buy another one. So we're down to 4.
You
Did
said-
you add one
Yeah.
from the because I had 2.
Oh, I did not add one, so we're back up to 5 then. I'm rolling a 14. 1. Darn it. This is the first time or did I attempt to scan before this? Or no, this is my
You
first.
you did try to with the shuttle. You haven't done it with your hand scanner, but it is a similar scan.
Because I was wondering about is it testing a theory that
You can roll an additional d20. Yep.
because I'm gonna need a 5 or less. A 3. I got it. 3.
Wow, look at that. So you see the insects again. So Andrew, you can write you might want to write these just like note these things, because in a very technical sense, until maybe you find out more information at some point, you are discovering life that has no. So you would be naming these things essentially. You or the crew would be naming these things, unless you find information from the natives on the ground, like what they call them. Then you could essentially call them that, or you can stick with this. Just you know what I mean. So you see those kind of like earth firefly type things. As you scan, you pick up these things that are like in the limbs of the trees at the top, and they are intimidating in appearance, and they have dark, spiky exoskeletons with sharp, angular features on them. But your scans show of them that they are harmless herbivores, feeding on the dense foliage. Though their appearance is menacing, it really just serves camouflage against predators or anything else that may harm them. And the interesting thing that you guys are now understanding is that this soft melodic hum that's happening in the jungle is coming from them.
Cool.
So you can see these little creatures up in the thing. They're kind of resembling kind of like leopards, but not really. Like it's like a mix. Then you see on the ground, as you're scanning, you see a plant with a captivating large blossom. It has vibrant.
Don't smell it.
It has vibrant petals that are very alluring.
Oh my God, don't smell it. Well, think about what happened to Spock. It's alluring for a reason. It's trying to poison you.
But you can see in the center from the scan, there are razor sharp thorns.
Uh-huh. Cool.
So your gut instinct would be to approach these things with caution. And lastly, right as you're about to conclude your scan, because you're not like absolutely surrounded by these things, they're just kind of smattered throughout. But the thing that just as you're about to close your scanner, all of a sudden, your scanner kind of goes like kind of haywire for a second, and you realize that there's something right next to you.
Oh God.
And the massive,
God.
colossal tree that is standing next to you is a life form. Their trunks are covered in vibrant foliage, providing a mobile ecosystem as they traverse the jungle.
And they are saying, I am Groot.
Which means we saw what you did.
And you can see that they're dispersing seeds and nurturing the plant life of the jungle. So they are basically giant walking trees.
Wow. So is that what's like kind of blocking a signal or whatever?
If you burn 2 momentum, I will help you with that.
I think we should do it.
Sounds good to me.
So by burning that momentum, what Sova is able to put together is that the actual foliage, the actual plant life, is not necessarily blocking scans. It's not like it's a dampening field where you can't penetrate it. It's scattering them. So you're getting a lot of feedback and like mirroring. So when you scan it, it looks like you're making a complete scan, but really you're just getting different angles of the same thing in different directions, and you're not getting a true lower level scan of the actual ground. It's like scanning the tops of the trees, but it just looks like, oh, I'm just getting lots of trees. You're like, it's only trees,
Okay.
but it's that's not what's actually happening. So the foliage, the plant life, the leaves, the things and the tops of these trees have a layer to them that is like basically scattering sensor scans.
Super cool.
And as he was on the ground, now that Sova's on the ground, he can get a better scan, but it's still difficult because there's a lot of in the jungle. It's still a lot of plants and stuff. So it's not. It's easier because there's not a canopy breaking, between him, but it's still difficult.
This is the same thing as stealth technology.
Right.
That explains that then, doesn't
Yeah.
it? Okay, so let me talk to Professor Saw.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we figured out why our scans showed nothing, huh?
Yes, sir. I'm surprised. Even with our scientists here on the planet, we never were able to discover that. It is a amazing thing that your officer here was able to make that discovery.
I agree. Pretty amazing how a tree outsmarted all of us scientists.
I cannot disagree with that.
The problem is lately everyone has been focused on the technology and not anything else.
True.
Agreed.
What are your thoughts on proceeding through to their camp? I don't know that that's necessary anymore.
Well, we should still progress forward because we need to make sure that this civilization is not in an upheaval. We don't truly know what the Tellarites did. They tell us they did much of nothing, but yet they came back with these discs, and they claim that none of the people know, but we don't know that. I do not trust the word of that merchant. Exactly.
We speak each other's language. All right, let's proceed. So I think the goal is just to observe.
Basically, the goal is now to observe them, see where things stand. I mean, the reality is you're also discovering a new alien species, so might as well kind of get the xenobiology points on the mission, come back with, cool scans of these things so that they, that's also the fun of space is finding new things.
True.
So
I'm just worried about contaminating them further.
Sure. Of course.
Because I feel bad for them. Bunch of slimy, filthy, sweaty, stinky Tellarites came into their camp and stole all their stuff. I'm just thinking, what if they did notice it was stolen and now they're posting guards on perimeters and we can't see where they are and we're gonna run in. It stresses me out a little bit.
Yeah.
But I guess let's proceed. And let's not use our technology anymore now that we have, unless we find something else super cool. But now that we have some answers, we don't necessarily have to.
Let's use the disc on the Tellarites.
There you go. Yeah, all their deep. See how they like it. That's sick, and I like it.
So, let's have difficulty 2. Let's have each of you roll insight security. It'll be difficulty 2, except for Mike, it'll be difficulty 1.
Nuts. I got a nerfing. What did you say? Insight and security?
Yeah. I gotta roll for the professor here.
It's looking. If I can use a focus, I got it. But if not, I did not.
Uh-oh. Well,
Hmm?
rolled a 20.
Very good. Excellent. Excellent.
I have a quick question. Is there a focus that I can use? Because I rolled a 1.
No, it's
So
an
one-
automatic.
That's a win.
I rolled 2 guaranteed, and that's why I'm asking if there's a focus I can use, because then I'll have 3.
Well, you're using your talent of always watching, so it applies to anything applying to being like aware of your surroundings.
Okay.
Do you have a focus in anything like that? Like something vigilant, like anything to do with vigilance, or
Nope. Most of mine are dealing with peoples or things.
okay.
But like I said, I rolled a 1 and a 10, so I have 2.
Okay, your 10 is over your thing.
My insight is 8, and my security is 5.
Okay, so you have 3 successes because it's all the one. The 1 is immediately 2 successes,
Okay.
and so you have 3. So perfect.
So I got 3.
So you have 2 successes because of the difficulty of 1, but you had 3. So, Sova, did you do it?
But is there a focus I could use? Because if I can use a focus,
It's the same thing with it. It's vigilance, aware of your surroundings, or having like eyes in the back of your head, like anything like that.
No, because I rolled a 3 and an 18, so
1 success.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's why I was like, oh, I have a security of 3, so if I could use a focus, but I don't have any focuses about paying attention.
Yeah, I
Okay.
have the tail end of constantly watching, so that's where that comes into play.
So as you guys are progressing through the jungle and you're getting closer and you're soon to make camp, you're now kind of looking for an area to kind of settle because it's been a long walk. 18 hours is a pretty long walk to consistently walk for a long time. So you made really good time. You're only a handful of hours away. And as you're making camp, one of these captivating blossoms that Sova had found on his thing is sort of like unexpectedly behind the captain. Nobody had kind of seen it except for you, Arhat. You catch sight of it. And as you catch sight of it, you see that these vibrant petals that have a pattern that you would assume are something to lure something towards it. You see that they start to rotate very fast and have this kind of like vortex looking kind of thing. And from what Sova had on scans, you can tell that this suction kind of vortex thing is trying to pull the captain in so that the razor thorn center can do whatever that does.
What? Why did this happen to me?
Well, you rolled a 20.
You know what's stupid about this is security is like almost it's a 4.
Excellent.
And my insight is a 9. Like they're high numbers and I still got screwed. Very
So you are at, if you're able to, I will lower it down to difficulty 1. Okay, so I'll put it to you this way. You can either roll or you can burn 2 momentum. So you can either you can burn 2 momentum and roll for combat. You can just roll for combat, but it'll be a difficulty 2. If you burn 2 momentum, it'll be a difficulty 1. Or if you burn 4 momentum, you will just succeed. And you won't have to roll anything.
We only have 3 momentum, so burning 4 is not an option.
Correct. I'm thinking about burning 1 momentum in order to gain an extra dice, and I will roll for difficulty of 2.
So it's going to be security fitness, I believe.
Okay, so I need a 14 because fitness is 9 and security is 5.
Okay.
Ooh, 5, 8, 15.
Nice. So very deftly and very quickly, as this suction vortex thing is happening with all these thorns, you quickly pull from the back of your uniform, your Ushan, and very deftly, right between the captain behind her into the thing, you throw this blade into the plant, and it immediately just destroys the plant. The vortex stops, and the plant kind of just goes.
Thank you.
I like your t-shirt, by the way, Will.
Yeah.
Look at that. Where'd you?
Caleb made them.
Caleb made them.
Yeah. Caleb. Yeah, it's everybody. Everybody's down there. Caleb.
Nice.
Yeah, it's got the patches over here. Yeah, they're cool.
I'd probably walk up, Captain. Are you all right?
Think so. That was
Better
close.
now. Better now.
That was a close one. Thanks for your quick skills there.
You're welcome. Just please be careful going forward.
Certainly will.
So as you go over to your Ushan, Mike, to pick it up, you see that this thing was really no joke. It wasn't going to be just like, oh, she kind of got scratched up and, maybe needed some like gauze. Like it probably would have really broke the skin and she might have been in some serious danger. So as you reach in between the mess of this plant to get the Ushan, you're very, very carefully and very smartly do not try to get your fingers and hands and arms cut as you reach. So now so you spend the night, you sleep over, and you begin your journey to right where the last reports of the expedition team mentioned, where they first made notice of the natives. So you approach that, but you stay. So I'm going to set you up at about 100 yards away from where the expedition team first saw them. And I'll leave it to you what you guys want to do.
And we don't see anything. We don't hear any voices. We don't.
Nope, you don't hear anything. No. Mm-mm.
Now, can we scan and see if we pick up life signs?
Okay. All right, Silva. So we'll make it difficulty 2. This is the thing, so your thing will apply. I gotta find it.
So I get the extra dice.
Yeah, that sounds right. Right? Where is your?
Yeah.
It's called testing a theory, right?
Yes, it's if I've done something of the same field, I can get a bonus D20.
Yeah. So it's difficulty 2 because you've already done it. So difficulty 2.
I think it's only for science though, right? Science and
engineering, but yeah.
and engineering. I knew there was a.
But you got to pick one. But yeah.
Okay. Wow. This is wonderful and terrible at the same time.
2021.
So I just realized, am I doing bioscans?
Yes.
Am I allowed to use my focus bioscan?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Because then I have 4 successes and
Okay.
a complication. And a complication.
Okay.
So can I use one of the momentums to cancel the complication, or is this happening?
No, what I'll do is just use that complication and bank threat.
Okay.
So
I needed 2, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to bank 2 to get us back up to 4.
Okay. So what you get on sensors about a little over 200 yards away, you get like an insectoid humanoid kind of like alien on your thing that you can see has amphibious adaptations, 6 articulated limbs, 2 humanoid arms, and 4 insectoid legs. The humanoid hands have 3 fingers and an opposable thumb.
This thing looks like a mess.
and you can base off of what you scanned from the jungle and from what you're getting from them, they are also likely bioluminescent. Now you can see their outline, but you don't have an image of them.
It's a spider.
If you want, you have to roll presence con. That's what I wanted you to roll. Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Can anyone roll it?
Yeah, true. Anybody could step forth to get a look of, like, to get like a picture of them on the hand scan.
Because those are like terrible for me. I would be rolling a 10. So if somebody has a better,
I'd roll an 11, so not much better.
Let me look at what Sa would roll. Sa could roll a 12. Presence and con, yeah, 12.
That's what I can roll too.
So you can either hand it to Sa or you can hand it to Arhat.
what do you think, Michael? You feel like going for it?
I can go for it.
So all you're doing is just taking the hand scanner and like trying to get like a physical image of what data came through.
I would, because it's difficulty 2, right?
No, difficulty 1. No, difficulty 1.
All right. What do you think?
I can probably do it if you want me to, Captain.
I was thinking, do you want to do, we have 4 momentum. You want to use 1 to increase your...
Yeah.
Increase your
I think you
odds.
could use the momentum and do it, yeah.
Okay.
Right back down to 3. So we're rolling 3 dice for 1.
I just rolled a 1.
Perfect.
Let's see what the other ones give me. 16.
Nope.
And a complication.
Oh no.
We should have stopped at the 2 dice.
Boy.
Are we banking the 1 back, or?
I think a great way to end it is Arhat goes out just a little bit. He doesn't go really far out. He just goes enough where he gets out, And he comes out from behind a tree, and he lifts up the hand scanner, and he pokes the thing to get a good image of it, and he gets an image of this.
Ooh.
And it sees me, and they all run after.
And it turns,
Oh God.
and you're not 100% sure, but you may have just been spotted.
Ooh.
Yep.
Are we
I had a
banking
feeling
the
that was going to
extra?
happen.
What's that, Andrew? You're asking
are we
Mike if
banking?
he's banking that momentum?
Yeah, because he got 2 for the one.
He got 3 successes, right? Because he got a 1 and then he got a success on the other.
No, he got a 1, which is for 2, but then he got a 16 and a 20.
Yes.
Okay.
Which are not.
Yeah. So it's up to Mike what he's doing with it.
If there's nothing I can use it for, let's bank it.
So what you can do with it is you can either get more information on these things, like what you see with your own eyes. You can create an advantage, which would be like maybe the thing doesn't see you, or you can bank it and just do what you normally do, which is now you just have a bank of these things. Like you can change. That's what like the create an opportunity. Like you spend a momentum to like change the narrative, basically.
I think it'd be best to use the momentum to create an opportunity so that it doesn't see me.
Okay. Well, so that's where we'll end it. Is you see it turn and look at you, and you very slowly just hide back behind the tree, and you kind of watch, and then you see it just continue to walk away from you. And that is where we'll end it.
What a night, folks. Pretty disappointed I didn't hear from Lieutenant Commander Jahan again to tell us we had it.
I was actually kind of hoping that John would show up and then say like some horrific like
Yeah.
the ship's blowing up.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Okay, see you guys. Have a good night.
You too.